to him, and another young, and I think he was a German boy. One of the army guys, and this one, he's maybe around 14, 15 years old. He was running around by himself, and he adopted him, or he took him and he kept him with him. And they had cut down a military uniform that fit him. And he stayed right with the soldiers, and this guy, wherever he went, his kid was with him, and they were in some kind of a bar room one time, and the kid went where the soldiers went. You're sharp looking, nice looking little kid. So I said, what are you going to do with him when you go back to the States? Oh, he said, I'm taking him to the States with me. I'm not leaving him here. And he was a young guy, probably my age. I said, well, I think could be a little problem if you come on board with a little German kid or whatever. You just can't take. He might have had a family someplace. He might have found his family. I don't know. Oh, he said, I'm taking him back to the States somehow or another. I'm going to get it. I'm keeping him, he said. He got so attached to this little kid that. Well, I left there probably before he. So I don't know how that came out. If he managed to take him to the States or not. Well. There's many stories like that. I could keep on for how long telling about instances about civilians and what happened to them. There could be a whole book written just about what their life was like. Standing there with their home laying in a rubble, and the town to them was no water and the system and no electricity and no plumbing. And it was actually a big part was in a rubble, and there these people are standing there looking at this.
What'd they feel about you, the soldier coming through? How'd they feel about you as a soldier coming through?
What did they think about us?
Yeah.
Well, they stand and just stare at us, and infantry guys were the first ones in there always. And they probably never seen an American before, so the first thing we'd see was these young, lot of teenage infantry come slogging through there with their M1s hanging over their shoulder, and some of them just stared at us, and some we talked to, and it didn't seem like they blamed us for that. It was the bombers and artillery that did that. It wasn't these young infantry guys. We didn't go after the civilians or blow up their houses or anything. So it seemed like they really didn't have any kind of hate for us. And of course the kids that were wandering around, we'd give them whatever rations we could. We didn't care whether they were French or German or whatever else. And I think the word must have spread, because every once in a while we'd come through a town, I'd maybe never seen an American soldier before, and the kids would come running sometimes up to the soldiers. I couldn't believe that. Do you think they were afraid of us, enemy soldiers? It didn't seem like they were afraid of us. And once they found out, they probably had heard about that American soldiers would probably give them some part of their rations or something, and which we did. The infantry guys didn't carry a lot of food. We just carried some K-Raps, so we couldn't give them very much. But we did give them what we could. And seemed like the infantry had more compassion for the civilians than and later on, when the rear echelon people came up with their trucks or whatever they had, a lot of them were I'm not saying many, but some of them would loot and take stuff and everything. Well, we couldn't carry anything. He didn't take anything. And I think that one of the impressions I got from World War II was a lot of what went on besides the military stuff, of how the people suffered. And they were left with absolutely nothing. They didn't have the house, and I'm sure there wasn't any place they could go to say, we need food, we need shelter, we need that. They probably were just playing on their own, trying to survive, whatever.